Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pentiment. So in the last episode a lot of things happened. Let's see, quite a few people died, including Brother Guy, whom we said was Otto's murderer to the peasants, and they bought that, and they did let the other monks, including the abbot, out of the library, but then Peter, the leader of the peasant rebellion at the time, then he decided to burn down the entire abbey anyway. And then the soldiers came in and a fight broke loose. And also Andreas died in there as well because he tried to save the books from the burning abbey, and then he died in the fire while trying to save the books. So that was a big shock. And right now we are how many years is this in the future again? Is this like was it 18 or so years in the future now? And now we are playing as what was her name again? This is the Klaus's daughter, the printing presser guy. What's her name? Magdalene or Margaret or something like that? Well, anyway, we are playing as her now, 18 years or so in the future. So without further ado, let's continue. So I believe that we were supposed to write a letter to Ether, whatever her name was, the Jewish girl who was born on that tragic night when all of that happened, when the abbey burned down. Brother Guy, Peter, and some other people died on that day as well, and including Andreas too, of course. So she was born that day. Oh, look at that! There's the picture of our father Claus, and then the wife and son, whom we did meet early on in the game, but then at some point they had died to something. By the time Andreas came back to Tassing. Anyway, so yeah, we have to write a letter, I think. Alright, where to begin? Oh, I should write to Esther. Yeah, that's the name. Magdalene, that was the name. Dearest Esther, I hope you have been well. Autumn has reached us here in Tassing at last. I hope you and your family are well. Dad sends his regards to your parents like usual. Yes, let's start with this. I have spent the last few days collecting oak galls with Sister Gertrude. Oh yeah, and now the monks are gone. The abbey is in ruins, so the monks have left, but the sisters are still here in their own convent. I don't suppose you have the chance to do that in Prague. So that's where she is. Sister Gertrude has been teaching me how to grind them into a smooth ink. It's difficult work, but you'll find no better ink anywhere in Bavaria. I'll send along a bottle with this letter. Oh, did I mention? Dad started a new project. Oh yeah, he's working on a mural that would depict that tragic night of Tassing that happened over 10 years ago or so, when Andreas died and everything. So he's working on a mural depicting those events. He's painting a mural of Tassing's history in our new rat house to memorialize the revolt. Yeah, why did I bother to explain it myself when she could have done it? The whole thing has me thinking about my own family history, past, present and future. I don't think I want to stay in Tassing forever. It's a quaint place to grow up, but I am 20 now. The printing shop has been in the family for years. I'm looking forward to taking it over. This is an interesting choice. Should we stay here in this quaint little town, or should we plan to go elsewhere? Maybe find a husband from somewhere else. But then again, we would also like to take over the printing shop as well. The printing shop has been in the family for years. I'm looking forward to taking it over. Yeah, well, let's just go with this. Of course, Dad will keep running it until he can't pull the levers anymore. But I'll take over sooner or later. If I inherit the shop, I won't have to get married either. Of course, the print shop will be more profitable than anything else my husband does. Printing shop will be more profitable than anything else my husband does. If I inherit the shop, I won't have to get married either. Well, that's a plus, having the choice of getting married or not getting married. Well, of course, the print... why is this so hard? Why is it so difficult to select from two simple choices? Well, if I inherit the shop, I won't have to get married either. Sure, whatever. Christ, you would not believe how annoying Ertz is. Ertz, he's the son of Otto, and also Eve. I think his mom is under the impression he's been courting me. Can you imagine? And yes, before you break the nib of your pen, I will come visit you in Prague, I promise. I'll try to make time to visit before winter. Life has been bustling here. Dad's been busy with the Rat House mural, so I have taken over in the workshop. I'm sure it will be a sight to behold once it's finished. Write back to me soon. All my love. Magda. And we got a different clock here now too. To tell the time. Go to bed, okay. Simple enough. This is our bed, I take it. It's late, I should get some rest soon. Yeah, well, we don't have anything else to do, so let's go to sleep. And time flies. Ah! Dad? Dad? Magdalene. Dad? Hang on, I'm coming. What happened? Oh, my. Dad! I assume that he didn't just fall. Magdalene. What happened? Are you alright? You're bleeding. Someone came into the house. They hit me over the head. I'll go get Dr. Stolch. Try not to move, Dad. Magdalene, it's not safe. Whoever attacked me... This wound is too deep for me to take care of on my own. We need Dr. Stolch. I can't carry you across town, Dad. I won't be long, I swear. Please just hold on. Yeah, we can't treat this. Magdalene, be careful. I will. I'll be right back, I promise. So the murderer struck again. Or threat puller even. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Claus? No, maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them. That doesn't sound like a very good reason to attack you like that. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow and hit your head on the printing press? Come on, York. You saw the workshop. Somebody was looking for something. A burglar? In Tassing? That's preposterous. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head. Unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis. Well, at least he's still alive. No, of course not. No. As I thought. Truthfully, Claus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. It's a grave injury, Magdalene. You'll need to help take care of your father. I will, whatever I need to do. Good. Of course, the mural will have to be called off now, Claus. You absolutely cannot get out of bed. No, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Claus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't even been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed, it might be best to abandon the entire idea. With respect, Father Thomas, you are not on this council. Yes, just offering an opinion. I can paint the mural. What? Max, quit joking around. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? I've been painting since before I could walk. You don't think I'm good enough? I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself, and Dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Isn't that enough? I'm older than Ertz, and he's on the town council, and he doesn't even do anything. I do like this, but I would like to say this, but at the same time this would make more sense, I think. I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself, and Dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Isn't that enough? But then again, I really want to say this. I'm older than Ertz, and he's on the town council, and he doesn't even do anything. Fuck it. Yes, I do. I do plenty for the town. Painting a mural this large and complicated will take a lot of skill and expertise. Oh, if only Andreas was here. So that's why we were having your dad make it. He's been making art forever. I agree with Paul. Claus needs home care. You are best suited for that, Magdalene. Not a mural. Oh yes, because she's a woman. Yes, of course. What is that supposed to mean? Well, are you sure you are up for it? Physically, I mean. It's quite demanding. You would be up on scaffolding and could fall. What would any of you know about it? Are you not listening to me? I have already been doing this work for years. Alright, I can see where this is going. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, me neither. You can second guess me all you want, but Dad knows what it takes. I can do it, Dad. If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with a lot of you. Claus. If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again. Alright, I say we let her. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Very well. Alright, Magdalene, you can do it. But you still need to talk to us about what you are doing, alright? Of course. Fine, but I'm taking Dad's ideas into account. Well, we'll figure it out. Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Claus. I'll do my best, Jork. Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? I didn't want to say this in front of your father or the others. Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. I know the injury is severe, Werner. I saw all the blood. So what are you saying? Magdalene, there is damage to his brain. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left. But he's not going to survive. No, there has to be something you can do. Can't we take him to a surgeon? No, he can't be moved in this condition. In fact, he shouldn't move at all. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So he's just going to die? And there's nothing I can do about it? You can make him comfortable and you can enjoy the time you have left. I can help with palliative care. But time will run out before long. I'm sorry, Magdalene. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. But I don't know how much time he has left. Werner said it could take a few months or... God protect him. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest parts of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the abbey and Tassing saints. After that I should find a way to represent our recent history. Depicting the revolt is important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of the town history, but not all of it. Dad said the library in Kiersau had those records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. Is he implying or referring to Sister Illuminata? I should write to her now while thinking about it. Okay. Alright, where to begin? Dad told me the last prioress at Kiersau knew something about the old history of Tassing. He said she became the abbess of a convent in Bologna, Mater Illuminata. Okay, so it is Mater Illuminata. Yes, at Santa Margherita. I should write to her. Santa Margherita, a small town in the Republic of Genoa along the coast of the Ligurian Sea. Genoa is a Italian city-state. Mother Illuminata, abbess of Santa Margherita, formerly prioress of Kiersau Abbey. Mother Illuminata, abbess of Santa Margherita, formerly librarian of Kiersau Abbey. I think this is more appropriate. Now let's go with this. Oh, I didn't want to do that. My name is Magdalene Drucker, however you spell that. I do not believe we ever met, as I was very young when you left Kiersau. I am the daughter of Claus Drucker, Magdalene. We are printers from Tassing. You were acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. I am writing because my father and I are creating a mural in the Tassing Wrath House. It's going to tell the history of our community and of Kiersau as well. We have only legends and folklore, since of course all of Kiersau's books were destroyed in the fire. I was hoping you could tell us something about the early history of the town when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear of it. We would also appreciate any help you could give us, and we hope you are well. Can we also go and ask Father Thomas? My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for their sisters after the fire. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the library and its books. My father always spoke highly of your piety and intellect. If you would not mind a personal question, was it hard to return to Italy after being here for so many years? My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the library and its books. Sure. God bless you. Excuse me, Magdalene. If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. Already? Go to sleep. Well, sure, I guess. Is there anything else that we can do here? The father is upstairs, I take it. Well, maybe we should go and see how he's doing. Is he sleeping? Magdalene. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Can I get you anything? No, I'm fine. You go on. Alright, I'll come back and check on you later. Okay, well he's doing fine for now. Alright, let's just... then go to sleep then. It's late, I should get some rest soon. Yeah, go to sleep. So we have to start planning tomorrow. How long does she sleep? Oh wait, how do you even read this clock? Are the numbers here the hours? Wait, how many numbers there are? 31, never mind. Oh, it's the dates. It's November now. Reichspostman. So it's a mailman. Ah, Mistress Drucker, I have a few letters here addressed to you. What did we do during those... how many weeks it took? Take care now. Thank you, sir. Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helps me paint the mural. Mistress Drucker, thank you for your letter. I hope this reply finds you and your father in good health. I remember you both, as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother. God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discussed Tassing's past, it's likely they were as mythological as what your neighbors believe. That said, I remember one of the peasants, Tilman Kreutzer, however you spell that, read about the history of the town. I know he died during the revolt, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. I should also say that it's not true that all of Kiersau's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Malheur managed to save some from the flames. God rest his soul. In the aftermath of that terrible night, cataloguing and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, this topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Kiersau, the murder of Baron Rothvogel. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia Tassii, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. Indeed, he did mention that he was about to give that book to the abbey, I believe. I had forgotten about it until now, because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now because I recall that the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Tassii shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Ottilia Kemperin took it from the Baron after the murder. But my understanding, she had difficulty reading. I can't imagine why she would have taken it. It's also possible that Martin Bauer also stole it, because he also stole some money from the Baron, I believe. But back then I didn't believe that Martin would have stole the book because, well, he couldn't read, as far as I know, so the book was useless to him. Then again, only God knows what she did and why she did it. Claus Haberle, the Baron's manservant, believed it may have been stolen by the town thief Martin Bauer. Well, there you go. Claus. Yeah, this guy here. If Martin is still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. As for the history of the abbey, I fear that was also lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, Prior Matthew learned a great deal about the subject. Sacristan, is that like a treasure holder or something? A treasurer? Appointed official in a monastery, responsible for maintaining the sacristy, which is basically the treasury, where vestments and objects used in ceremonies are kept. The sacristan is also often the treasurer. Yeah, exactly. But he's not here in Tassing, is he? I have not kept in contact with him, but I know that he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. Sion. Once a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, Sion became the capital of Valais when the canton joined the Swiss Confederacy following the Swabian War in 1499. Sounds interesting. I should read more about that. He is no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name Fusigny Saux. If you write to him soon, your letter may reach him before snow covers Valais. Okay, what is Valais then? A canton in the Swiss Alps. Valais became an associate member of the Swiss Confederation in 1529. Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the abbey in its better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I hold no ill will toward anyone from Tassing. I pray that you have seen better days since that night, and that God forgives the many errors we made. God bless you as well. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita. Okay, so we got more people to write letters to. Oh, Esther wrote to me as well. Okay, nice to know. Oh, they also own a printing press. My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I have made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Elisha has taken to making his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. Mother was furious when he spent several pfennigs trying to find lapis at the market. She set him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. And if you do take over the shop in Tassing, you'll have to make visits to Prague for supplies. Who knows, maybe you'll meet someone here. I've made a good match too. Oh, have you now? Before the expulsion, there was a handsome man at synagogue, Simund, who caught my eye. His father is a merchant, and he's a doctor. He went to the University of Padua. Can you believe it? I would quite like to marry him, if I can find him again. Anyway, I think you would have even better luck than me. The boys would swoon at a beautiful blonde artist from the Alps. Please keep us abreast of your father's mural. Abreast, that's a new word to me. We'll have to come see when it is finished. Blessings. Esther. Ah, she's sweet. I'll have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. That dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I would rather not eat at the moment. Are you sure? I can bring something light, like milk or broth. No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to? I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Illuminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till. We have never seen him before. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans. Mother Illuminata. Magdalene. Right, yes, Mother Illuminata. Jan Kreuzer has mentioned those tales from time to time, yes. He comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields, you might ask him about that. You mean the aqueducts? Il Peter's always harumphed about how no one paid attention to the old ways anymore too. Il Peter, is he still alive? Damn, he's old. I'm surprised that he's still alive. I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell about old Tassing. You might stop to talk to him. I didn't think of that. Thanks, Dad. I can hardly understand him these days, but it's worth asking. But he's so mean. Well, thanks, Dad. Of course, Magda. It's nice to feel useful, even if I'm stuck here in bed. Nonsense. I'm just glad you're awake. You might talk to Smokey too. Smokey, yes, we have talked to him briefly. The old charcoal burner seems to know more about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip. He's always been kind to me when I chat with him. I'm certain he'll know something about the ruins. Isn't he a bit eccentric? Why does that matter? Well, he's always been kind. You may hear something worth your while, at any rate. I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins or the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever is left over from the Romans and before. Well, the aqueduct is a pretty splendid place to go and investigate. The salt mine and Roman ruins are the oldest parts of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind. Ah, you take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research. You always said that's what good artists do, Dad. Be careful, alright? I know the twins mess around near the salt mine, but I don't want you getting hurt. The twins? I don't remember any twins. I don't know why Jork doesn't keep them in line. Always making trouble, those two. Okay, so they are Jork's twins. Don't worry about me, Dad. I'll be careful. They don't have brains enough to keep out of trouble, I do. That's what happens when you name your kids after pagan gods instead of saints, I guess. Well, I'll be careful. Good. I still need you to run the press for a little longer, after all. Don't forget your other chores while you are running around town, alright? We still have a household to run. Don't worry, I'll get everything done. I'll get to them, Dad. Well, don't worry, I'll get everything done. That's my girl. I would better get going if I want to do all of that today. I'll see you later, Dad. Good luck. Now, good luck, Magdalene. The missing book. Okay. In her letter, Mother Illuminata mentioned that 2 copies of A History of Tassing had both gone missing before the Abbey fire. She suggested that Martin Bauer stole one of the copies before he fled town. I wonder if he hid the book somewhere before he left. I should ask around. Indeed we should. Like I said earlier, I didn't think that Martin Bauer stole the book because he can't read. He doesn't know the value of it. Well, maybe everyone knows that back then books were pretty damn valuable. That is before the printing press came in, and that made the books a lot cheaper. So I assume that they are quite cheap by this time now. Okay, so we got lots of things to do. Il Peter has been around forever. He might remember some of the old stories. Blacktill's grandfather read a lot about Tassing's history. Maybe he's made it a family tradition. Smokey Curlher spends all his time in the forest. I think he might know something interesting about the ruins or the mines. So we got lots of people to talk to. Il Peter, Blacktill, Smokey Curlher, Martin Bauer. And we should also write a letter to Brother Matthew, I think it was, the treasurer of the former abbey. Lots of things to do. And we can see our profile here. Myths and legends, I don't know what that means. Magdalene has a broad understanding of Greek, Roman, Egyptian, etc. myths and German heroic tales. Okay, that's pretty cool. And we have the Tinker, Flirt and Reformation backgrounds as well. Okay, cool. I was thinking about ending this episode here, but then I realized that I've only been playing for about 30 plus minutes, so let's keep playing for about 10 more minutes. So, who should we go and talk to first? Well, let's go and talk to Martin Bauer, assuming that he's still around. Oh, there he is. He's looking very old now. Morning, Magdalene. How's Claus? Enduring. Even when his speech is slurred, he keeps a cheerful heart. I don't know what life would be like without him. Claus is a good man, Magdalene. Tassing is a better place thanks to him. He's one of the few in Tassing who hasn't been on my back all this time. What do you mean? Well, he used to be quite a troublemaker. Don't pretend like you haven't heard. Townsfolk have whispered shit about me for years. So what if I occasionally get into a few brawls? I'm an honest man. Well, about as honest as a thief can be, I guess. I wasn't involved with what happened to Otto Zimmerman. I supported his cause. Yeah, that's why you were... And that's why I didn't suspect you that much. I have pulled my weight around here. Tilled the soil, salted the meat, provided for Brigitte and Graft. Who is Graft? I don't know him. He's one of the kids in the block we talked to earlier, I believe. I have done enough back-breaking work for this family. Can't a man just have a goddamned rest? Why are you always getting into fights anyway? Brigitte supports you in all this, doesn't she? I believe you, Martin. You seem like you could use a respite. Well, why are you always getting into fights anyway? Sometimes an asshole just needs to get his teeth pounded in. Does beating the shit out of someone really solve a problem? This pointless violence injures your soul. God should have drafted a fewer assholes then. Or created fewer assholes then. He gifted the might of the Siperos to Elisha to fight against his harassers. Why should I be condemned for standing against mine? Right, I have lost enough time to this as it is. Time for you to go. Wait, we still haven't asked you about the book. Wait, I almost forgot the reason I came to you. I'm trying to learn about the history of Tassing. I was told you could help. Me? What do I know about history? I heard you stole a book from the Baron all those years ago. The one who was murdered? Mother Illuminata told me you borrowed a book of a local history from Baron Rothvogel. Should we be frank with him and just say that, hey, did you steal it? Because even if we use the euphemism borrowed, I think he would still get the idea that what we are implying. Now let us be discreet about it, I suppose. Mother Illuminata told me you borrowed a book of local history from Baron Rothvogel. Mother Illuminata? Oh, you mean one of the old nuns from the convent? Ah, sure, a book. I might have taken it back then. That was a lifetime ago. I can't remember the book or what I did with it. Those years are a blur. Probably threw it away somewhere or left it at home. Go away, you stupid whatever beetle you are. Wouldn't have been much for me to do with the book. I can't read. Yeah, exactly. Too unique for me to have sold too. No one outside Tassing cares about its history anyway. Maybe I should ask Brigitte if she remembers anything about it. Sure, couldn't hurt. It was decades ago, but she's the one who remembers shit. Thanks for the help, I guess. Uh-huh. If there's nothing else, I have got work to do. Until later, Martin. Until then. Brigitte, is she this one? Yes. Magdalene, how are you keeping? I'm eager to continue work on the mural. I have so much to do before Christmas. I'm certain it will be the pride of Tassing when you are through. You have always had your mother's talent for art. And how is your dad? You are one of the only people who have asked how I'm doing before asking about my dad. His mind is fading. I pray for him every night. This is an interesting one. You are one of the only people who have asked how I'm doing before asking about my dad. Was that an insult or? I know how it is to be the sole caregiver. Yourself disappears behind the needs of the person you are looking for, or looking after even. I worry about you, carrying that weight alone. I remember when my dad fell. We cared for him best we could, but those few months before he passed were a tough time for everyone. But I believe God will pull your dad through. Whatever the doctor says, we need him. God willing, you are right. I am at his mercy. I don't know what I'll do if he dies. I feel crazy even thinking about it. Well, God willing, you are right. God willing, amen. But now, about the book. Have you thought about what you'll do if your dad doesn't come through this? Well, having a husband now would be handy, I'm sure. Dad would want me to keep up the printing press. I truly don't know. I can't think that far ahead right now. Well, Dad would want me to keep up the printing press, no doubt. Wouldn't that be a sight? Are you sure you could handle it? It's a lot to manage on your own. But you're a good girl, Magda. There are many number of families in Tassing who would be happy to take you. You have someone in mind, don't you? I don't know, do we? F you. Why decide before I have to, you know? Sure. There are plenty of handsome young men in town. Especially young Ertz. He's about as subtle as his father, God rest Otto's soul. Oh, I miss him. Otto sounds like he was a heartbreaker in his prime. All of the girls around town knew better than to moon after him, though that didn't stop some of us. He was Eva's from the start. So it was Eva, not Eve. As Ertz appears to be yours. But if nothing ever comes of that, know that you are always welcome in my family, Magda. Kraft's a nice, hard-working boy. He's got a sharp mind. He can provide for a family. Are you trying to set me up with your son? Can you blame a mother for trying? You're a good, respectable girl, Magda. Any family would be lucky to have as a daughter. I guess I'll consider it. I don't mean to be rude, but I would prefer to decide in my own time. Yeah. All right. I'll let it lie. You know, not every marriage may start off on solid footing. But if you pray and work and trust in the Lord, you can find it in time. Speaking from experience, I'm sure. Being married to Martin and everything. If it's not working out, how can you be sure a couple belongs together? You're not making the prospect sound very enticing. Well, if it's not working out, how can you be sure a couple belongs together? God knows, He brings people together for a purpose. We don't need to understand it, only to have faith in providence. Now, how about the book? In any case, I should get back to the chores. Remember what I said. Whatever happens, you're always welcome in my home. Oh, before I forget, I actually had a question about an old book. Martin is supposed to have stolen it from that baron who was killed years ago. Do you know what happened to it? Oh. I hope this doesn't get me into any trouble, but I still have it hidden in a drawer. Martin left it behind when he ran off. Why did you keep it? What was I supposed to do? The Baron was killed soon after, and there I was, holding his stolen book. I didn't want Martin to get in any more trouble than he was already in. I never read it, though. I don't read well. Can I have it? I don't know. Lie, I would like to read it to my dad. I need to reference it for the mural. I don't see much of a reason to lie. I very rarely see any reason to lie to people in video games. But if lying is a good way to get the book, but then again I don't see any reason why we can't say that it's for the mural. I need to reference it for the mural. But won't everyone wonder where you got the ideas? I've been talking to people all over town. They'll think I get the ideas from them. Oh, alright. I would like to have nothing more to do with it, to be frank. It reminds me of difficult times. A stolen book of a dead nobleman in our home. Perhaps Perhaps it spoiled our milk and turned our eggs all these years. Here you are. Please don't tell anyone I had this. Ah, Historia Tassii. It's in Latin, which I don't read well. I'll puzzle over it in the evening. Thank you, Brigitta. You have been a big help. Of course, Magda. Be well now. God bless. You too, Brigitta. Until later. Okay, so we found the stolen book now. Brigitta gave me the copy of Historia Tassii that Martin had stolen when the Baron visited Tassing. She was nervous, but eventually let me keep the book. I should sit down to read it thoroughly soon. Perhaps I'll learn something for the... I should sit down to read it thoroughly soon. Perhaps I'll learn something for the mural. So that's gonna take some time, I'm sure. Okay, so we are done with Martin now. And we still have quite a few people left to talk to, but I think that I should leave those for the next episode. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So, but who should we go and talk to next? So we got the Smokey. We have to write letter to Brother Matthew. Then I guess we could also talk to Father Thomas as well, even though he was not suggested as a candidate who would know something about the history of Tassing. Besides, he's not a local, I don't think. He used to be in another village a long time ago. But anyway, then there is Il Peter. And there was a fourth one as well. Who was the fourth one? Black Till. I don't even know where he lives. Don't even know where he lives, but I do know where Smokey and Il Peter are. Yeah, okay. So in the next episode, we are gonna go and talk to Smokey, who I believe is in this way, and Il Peter should be at the gardener's over here. And then if we have time, we're gonna go and find what is his name again? Till something. It was Black Till, yeah. We're gonna find Black Till, and then we are probably gonna write a letter to Brother Matthew. So, until then, thank you for watching once again, and see you next time for more Pentiment.